Vickie Hall, a senior real estate specialist with RE/MAX Professionals here in the Denver metro area. And I've been in real estate for 27 years and worked with many seniors and their families and helping them transition from their current home to their new home. And one thing that has become very obvious to me is that real estate decisions and legal decisions go hand in hand. So because of that, I have a very special guest with us today. Her name is Nicole Andrzejewski. Did I do that right?
That was good.
Okay. A lawyer with Meurer and Potter Law Firm here in the Denver metro area. And her specialty is elder law. And that means that she deals with any of the legal issues with seniors. And a lot of those legal issues overlap with real estate issues. For instance, power of attorney, a trust, a will, probate, estate planning, capital gains. That's always an interesting thing for everyone. And basically ways to protect your assets that you've spent a whole lifetime accumulating. So how does downsizing or selling a home affect the senior both legally and financially?
Sure. So downsizing can be very beneficial for a homeowner because it can free up assets and also reduce costs. But there are a few things that a senior needs to be aware of. The first of which is capital gains tax consequences.
Yes.
So if they've owned the home for a long period of time, especially here in Colorado where our home values have grown so much of late, there may be tax consequences at the time of sale that they're not aware of.
So that has come up several times in that the seniors are reluctant to sell their house because they think they're going to have this big financial nut that they have to crack. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so with capital gains taxes, I guess I'll start by explaining what basis is.
Okay.
So basis is the value that you've purchased your property at, plus any additions that you've, plus any
improvements?
Yes, plus any improvements that you've made to the property over the years.
Updated your kitchen, your bathroom, replaced the carpet.
Yes, exactly. So you can add all of that to your basis number. So that's our starting point when we determine capital gains taxes. So we subtract, for capital gains calculation, the sale price by the basis amount. And that difference is the gain. And that's the amount that an individual will be taxed on.
Okay, so let's talk specific numbers here. So an example might be a couple that bought their house for $200,000 20 years ago, and it's now worth $700,000.
Mm-hmm.
So they put, say, $75,000 into the house. So now their base is $275,000.
That's correct. Mm-hmm.
Minus the $700,000, so that's $425,000.
Right.
I did my math good. So tell me about that $425,000.
Yes, so that's the gain that would be taxed on. Now, for your primary residence, there is a capital gains exemption amount. So each individual gets $250,000 exemption to reduce the taxes that they're going to pay on that gain. So if your gain is $425,000, an individual would be able to reduce that number by $250,000, and that remaining amount would be how much they are taxed on. For a couple, you can double that number to $500,000. So in this specific example, if the gain is $425,000 for a couple with their $500,000 exemption, they wouldn't end up paying capital gains. But for an individual with only $250,000 exemption, they would end up paying capital gains at the sale. Which isn't the end of the world, right? It's a tax that just has to be paid, but it is something to be aware of prior to going into the transaction.
To try to figure out your net proceeds from the sale.
Right, so you can plan ahead.
So I've also run into someone that is selling their house a year after their spouse died. So what happens to that $250,000 or $500,000?
Yes, so the $250,000 exemption from the deceased spouse actually carries over for 2 years.
For 2 years.
Yep, so you're able to continue to use the full $500,000 exemption if you sell within that time frame. Otherwise, there's a half step up in basis on the property for the deceased spouse's value.
So I don't understand the half stepped up value. Can you tell me about that?
Yes. So to take it back a little bit, there's a full step up in basis when someone passes away. So that means your basis was $225,000 when you were living. When you pass away and pass the property down to your heirs, their basis increases all the way up to fair market value at death. So a basis goes from $225,000 to that $700,000 number.
So it's a way to escape capital gains.
Right, exactly.
So it behooves a senior maybe to not sell their house before they die?
Right. So if you can hold on to the property and pass it down to your heirs, it's better for tax purposes.
So we're not talking about practical purposes, though. Taxes are one thing, but if the senior has fallen and broken their hips, can no longer do stairs, that's the most important thing, is their living arrangement and how comfortable they are.
Right. And another option we tell a lot of our seniors they can look into is renting out their property so that they can hold it until death, but still move out into a more acceptable facility.
Oh, interesting. So, okay. So if they don't need the proceeds from the sale of the house, that would be a good way to proceed to your next property. Maybe even you're going into assisted living or independent living, where you pay on a monthly basis.
Right.
So you would not need that big hunk. And then you could be a landlord or have your kids be the landlord.
Hire a rental company, definitely.
There you go. There you go. Okay, that makes good sense. So, Nicole, thank you so much for coming and sharing this vast amount of information with us. I think that it will probably help a lot of seniors from making any possible costly mistakes. And if they need to review their will or their trust or their power of attorney or create one, how would they contact you?
Yeah, so they can call our office and ask for me. Our phone number is 303-991-3544. And again, my name is Nicole Andrzejewski. I specialize in estate planning. That's our powers of attorney, wills, and trusts, as well as probate or estate administration and trust administration.
So thank you very much, Nicole. I'm Vickie Hall, Senior Real Estate Specialist with RE/MAX Professionals, and I can be reached at 303-944-1153. Thanks.